we have created this society. Not each one of us, but our past generations. We have those and us have created this present immoral, destructive society. And we are trapped by that society. That society is made by each one of us. So we are responsible for that society. Whether it is possible not to change society, but is it possible to radically, deeply transform our conditioning, which is understand deeply our consciousness, which is what we are. Is it possible to transform not into something, but to change, bring about a mutation in the very structure and nature of our consciousness? That is the problem. That is the crisis. It's not political crisis, economic crisis, or the crisis of war, but the crisis is in ourselves.
The only real danger that exists is man himself. He is the great danger, and we are pitifully unaware of it. We are the origin of all coming evil.
The Earth, our home, a planet teeming with life, a place of great beauty and of great wonder. A world where ecosystem within fragile ecosystem combines to create a complex and delicately balanced web of life. A sympathetic mesh where the harmonious state of each organism is ultimately dependent upon the condition of the rest. A web in which the continued survival of each delicate strand rests entirely upon its symbiotic relationship with the environment in which it exists. Certainly the web of life has always been a fragile one, and yet for millennia it always functioned perfectly, as everything within it held its own unique place and purpose. Within this web also dwells mankind. According to ancient Vedic texts, in times long past, man too lived in complete harmony with nature. For man also held his own place and purpose within the web. And so it continued for countless years, until there appeared upon the earth a new mindset in the consciousness of humankind. And with that mindset came a new type of organism. With that mindset came civilization, and a system of organized rule based deeply in social structure. How much do we truly know about the past? There are, of course, a great many books that have been written on this subject by a myriad of scholars from the modern era. But how much do we really know to be true? Many books written in modern times are simply the author's interpretation of other books written previously by other scholars. But regardless of what is written in any book, the truth is that all of the information we currently have about our past is mysterious and fragmented at best. The theories presented in history books typically offer humanity a very orderly view of the past. And because these theories are presented to mankind hypnotically in printed form, most people automatically believe these concepts to be true. Yet upon further inspection, when one lifts their eyes from the printed page and looks deeper into the reality of their surroundings, quite a different picture emerges. And what about civilization itself? The Oxford Dictionary describes civilization as the process by which a society or place reaches an advanced stage of social development and organization. But how often does one ever pause to consider the questions of where civilization originally came from and how advanced it actually is? Obviously, human beings are very resourceful creatures, and human ingenuity should not be underestimated. It is certainly reasonable to assume, for example, that groups of humans would form themselves into tribes and clans, by which means all involved would benefit. But how did such groups then lead to something as entirely uncivilized and wantonly destructive as civilization as it exists today? Was it simply a natural progression? And if civilization didn't present a big enough issue, we are also presented with the question of technology. Where did it actually come from? Who was it who first pulled a rock from the ground and decided to crush it down to its component parts, isolate those parts, and refine them into metals? In fact, how is the concept of metals even known, let alone the methods that are required for the extraction and refinement of such things? Would you, if left to your own devices, ever come up with a thing like metallurgy? Would you come up with advanced science, spy satellites, or nuclear weapons? How did such inventions as these ever become part of the human psyche? But it doesn't stop at advanced technology. For in order for civilization to function efficiently, by necessity, civilization itself brought with it yet another organism, something more hidden, more mysterious, and more insidious than its parent. What it brought with it was a meme. A meme is described by the Oxford English Dictionary as an element of a culture or system of behaviour passed from one individual to another by imitation or other non-genetic means. Isn't this an exact description of the system that currently controls humanity? Is it not a fact that when looking at modern civilization and the social, political, financial and legal systems that dictate the behaviour of those within it, what we observe is a system of control that is wholly fictitious? Is it not a fact that it is a system that functions entirely due to people's belief that the system itself is real? It is a system based entirely upon fear, and a system that continues to function solely due to the energy it receives from the human beings within it. Yet the system itself is simply a meme.